What happens when you're a wealthy town in the Bay Area of California? Unfortunately, though, you have too many homeless residents. Well, you pay them $18,000 each to leave town. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and once again, it's coming out of the great state of California. So obviously, California has a lot of very, very wealthy areas, especially in like the Bay Area and in the Los Angeles area, right? And so, unfortunately, also they have a huge homeless problem. So when you have housing prices that are super duper high, there's unfortunately not going to be a lot of places where the lower income people and the people at the very bottom of the economic scale can live. So normally what you would do is say, hey, we're going to have shelters in place. We're going to have some housing in place for these people. But in California, there's nowhere really to build this stuff, right? And not only that, but in these small towns, they don't want it, okay? I don't blame them for not wanting it. Homeless people seem to just attract a lot of, blight, okay? Crime and problems on top of that. And, you don't want that anywhere near you. So if the weather is good though and it's near the beach, it seems like a lot of people just, they just gonna move on in regardless of what the law says. And the way that these very far left-leaning progressives think is, oh well, we don't want to pressure these people to leave. That wouldn't be right. But they will bust out their pocketbook and say, hey, get out of here. But you know what I think? It's only going to encourage more of this bad behavior. It's going to encourage more homeless people to move into your little town thinking they're going to get that $18,000 payout as well. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. Maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, okay? Do you think by this town paying off these people to leave town, do you think that will actually do the opposite of what they intended it to do? Do you think it will encourage more homeless people to show up thinking they were going to get paid off as well? Because that's exactly what I think is going to happen. We'll see. Maybe it'll work. Maybe this plan works. I was looking at pictures of this town, and this is a beautiful place. I mean, they have some wonderful pictures, and I'm going to throw a few up on the screen so that you can see it, and I don't blame them for not wanting to have to deal with this problem. But, hey, in California, you really have this huge issue because of the great weather, the great environment, the fact that you're right near the ocean. It's bound to happen. There has to be a better way to resolve this though. And I'm not a policy expert. I'm not a homelessness expert, but I have my own ideas, and they're not quite as nice as what these people are doing right here. This article also has a video with it, and I'll be playing part of that video right now.
Well, they're subsidizing homeless. And Jan, if you subsidize something, you're going to get more of it. So these are cash payments to people that have been on this tennis court in this fancy city of $18,000. There's 30 of them. So total cost could run as high as $540,000. Now, as in one of the examples here in California, I mean, these homeless people, they're actually unionized in the Sausalito Homeless Union. So they're the ones actually that are going to receive the money, and then they're going to dole it out to qualified applicants and supposedly follow the money and track the money and make sure taxpayers are getting a fair share. So it's $1.5 million, Jan, that the city says that they have spent to maintain, to sanitize, and to fight in court on these homeless issues. So as what's always said, when it looks like a piece of waste, the city is actually making the argument they're saving the taxpayers' money in the state of California. And of course, since it's California, this is a model that's going to be looked at by San Francisco and Oakland, who also have massive homeless problems.
All right, you saw the video, so let's get into the article. This article is coming from comonews.com, and it says, California City giving homeless people $18,000 to move somewhere else, reports say. In this week's Waste of the Week, a California city is handing out thousands of dollars to people without homes, according to reports. CEO of OpenBooks.com, Adam Andrajewski, joined the National Desk Friday to discuss the city of Sausalito. Sausalito is a city in Marin County, California, across the Golden Gate Strait from San Francisco, with a population of more than 7,000 according to the 2020 census. City officials are reportedly desperate to move dozens of homeless people from a park, so they're awarding them $18,000 to go somewhere else. Well, they're subsidizing the homeless. If you subsidize something, you're going to get more of it. Andra Zuzowski said. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. So these are cash payments to people that have been on this tennis court in this fancy city of 18,000. There's 30 of them. So total cost could run as high as 540,000. You know, I think they have in place laws in like California and some cities and municipalities that say, oh, okay, well, homelessness is not a crime, so we're going to, we can't punish these people, we can't tell them to leave, we can't do any of this stuff, right? So where I live, if somebody is caught, sleeping on someone else's property, you can have them charged with trespassing. If somebody is in a park, right? Our parks are only open certain hours, right? So if you have, hours that end at 11 p.m. and open at 5 a.m. and somebody's in there after those hours, the police can go in there and kick them out. Whether they're homeless or doing other criminal activity or whatever, those laws are in place for a reason, to keep these sort of issues from happening. Also, there's rules against camping on public land, and the homeless are pushed into certain areas where I live, at least, right, because of all these different laws. There's also laws against panhandling here. Now, I understand that, hey, you can't stop these things, right? And it really depends on if the police are going to enforce these laws, right? But these are quality of life situations. And when you have a situation where basically you're allowing these people to run rampant through your city doing whatever they want all the time, causing a nuisance, using drugs, defecating all over the place, harassing the good law-abiding people who are paying taxes, breaking and entering, assaulting people, etc. Well, guess what? Not only that, but piling up their trash everywhere, causing a ecological disaster area. Guess what? You have to jump on it. You have to jump on it. You cannot be nice about this sort of thing. You have to get it cleaned up. And these people are not responsible for anything that they do. So the only way that they're going to figure out that you don't like it is if you punish them. Okay? It's just like a bad kid. Maybe they need a little spanking after doing something bad. Okay? This goes back to making sure that our law enforcement is allowed to enforce the laws that are already on the books and not tying their hands and telling them, no, these people, they don't mean bad, so we can't arrest them. No. Okay, we have to allow law enforcement to enforce the laws, and we have to have laws on the books that keep these problems from arising. And the whole homelessness issue, it isn't that homelessness, like people don't care about the homeless. People care. People want to help them. The problem is that the people who are homeless, they don't give a crap and are, they're taking our goodwill and they're using it. They're using our goodwill against us, and just creating a complete crap hole with it, okay? And that is what we're seeing here. That's what we're seeing in California. We got some of it going on here in Nebraska as well. Not nearly as bad, though. Not nearly as bad, okay? I mean, I can give you a personal example of, there's a park here in Omaha, right? And it's right near the homeless shelter, so you have a large number of homeless people going through the park. And they've, pitched tents, etc., right? And you know what happened? The city came through and told them, hey, you cannot form an encampment here in this park. This is a public park. People other than you use this park. We don't want trash everywhere. We don't want your tents up here. You cannot camp here. Okay? And 90% of the problem has been resolved. Yeah, there still are a lot of homeless people who hang out in that park, right? But they have a right to hang out there just like anyone else. The difference is, though, that we don't see the trash. We don't see large homeless encampments. We don't see, open air drug use going on in that park. Okay, and for people in the Omaha area who know the area, I'm talking about Carter Lake specifically. Okay, but anyway, let's get back into this article. The Pacific Sun reported the city and the Sausalito Homeless Union reached a settlement agreement in early August after more than 18 months of extremely contentious litigation. Under the terms of the agreement, Sausalito will pay $540,000 to the Sausalito Homeless Union. For more of this interview and New Orleans mayor, well, that's a different story right there about the New Orleans mayor. But anyway, if you're interested in it, I've got a link in the description for the entire video.